Voting is currently underway in Nigeria as citizens decide on who will be their new president. Nearly 94 million voters are expected to cast their ballots in Africa's biggest democracy. President Muhammadu Buhari is not contesting the elections, having served the maximum presidential terms. Buhari has been blamed for the country's major challenges, including a struggling economy, massive debt and poverty as well. These elections are seen as a possible turning point for the continent's largest economy. Voting has been marred by violence in the past. And to discuss this further, I'm now joined by Nigerian Correspondent Tesem Akende. Good evening to you. Thank you very much for joining us here on eNCA. Just give us the latest updates. What is the status? Has voting been concluded? Has voting counting started? Where are we now?
Yes, I'm still at a polling unit here in Jos, the northern city of Jos in north-central Nigeria. Voting is still underway. Many people, perhaps in their hundreds, standing by on queues to vote and exercise their franchise. That's the situation from this polling unit. Of course, we've driven around town. Voting is concluded in some polling units and counting started in such polling units. That's the situation from where I'm reporting. But generally across Nigeria, it's about the same situation. Voting is underway in some places, even in Abuja, the federal capital city. But yes, voting has concluded in some parts and counting is underway in some polling units as well.
Mr. Akende, there has been certain reports of violence. There are reports that in certain areas the military had to intervene. Can you give us any updates and details as to whether that is true or not? What happened?
Yes, indeed. Some armed men were in Lagos, the commercial nerve center of Nigeria, where they caused disruptions. And of course, some voters, some intending voters, as a result of that, could not exercise their franchise. But yes, security personnel have been up and about to ensure that that is not the situation in other parts of the country. Over 400,000 personnel were deployed to ensure that safety of lives and property is guaranteed, as a result of the election. I'm reporting from Jos. Generally, there's been a security challenge in Nigeria, but security personnel have been ensuring that, things do not escalate, and so that security of lives and property is guaranteed as a result of the election.
And can we say that this has been a relatively smooth election or not? Because there are also reports of voters not being able to cast their votes. There are also reports of voters not being able to cast their votes in privacy, with people standing around them while they are needing to cast their votes. Is this true? How is this being handled?
Yeah, generally there's been a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of young people especially, coming out to exercise their franchise, many of them voting for the first time. Yeah, so the process has been smooth. And of course, the electronic machines that have been, brought in or employed by the Electoral Commission, some of them have not, some of them have malfunctioned. But yes, it's also worthy to note that the electoral officials have also been swift in responding to, the complaints as raised by intending voters. So generally, there's a lot of energy, especially in the young people who are voting, many of them for the first time. There are a pocket of challenges here and there, but generally the election has been, the turnout has been perhaps, I would say, really encouraging, especially from northern Nigeria, where I've been reporting.
And interesting, for the first time, ballots will be counted and transmitted electronically in real time, a milestone for the country, I'm assuming. Just talk us through that sort of conversation and the excitement with regards to developing it in this way.
Yes, to start with, the chairman of the Electoral Commission, Professor Muhammadu Buhari, had a press conference yesterday where he fielded questions from newsmen. And this was part of what was discussed. And it's an interesting twist because he has assured that the votes of the people will count. And I dare to say that from what we're seeing on the ground here, Nigerians are owning the process. They are here. Many of them had voted, but they've gone to their houses, they've gone to their homes. They are back with foodstuff. they are owning the process. They want to be here until counting starts. And, you know, they want to own the process. They want to monitor things for themselves firsthand. So, yes, I would say that the electronic, the inclusion or the involvement of the electronic devices are really bringing up some level of improvement to the electioneering exercise generally here in Nigeria. Yes, it's an improvement, I must say.
Interesting. So we heard that 18 candidates are in the running to grab that top spot. Just talk to us about some of the potential front runners and what the word on the ground is around who could possibly take this vote.
There's 18 candidates from 18 political parties, you know, are slugging it out on who will actually succeed President Muhammadu Buhari, having served 2 terms from 2015 to 2019, where he was re-elected for a 2nd term. 18 candidates, but yes, political analysts will say that it appears to be a 3-horse race between Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress Party, which is the ruling party at the moment. We also have former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who is running on the platform of the People's Democratic Party. We also have Peter Obi, who is of the Labour Party. Political analysts will say that it appears to be a 3-horse race between these 3 people. We're still monitoring. We can't say for sure who would emerge. The ballots will count. The ballots will determine that, as will be announced by the electoral umpire, the Independent National Electoral Commission, or INEC, as it's simply called here in Nigeria.
Tesem, I can still see long lines behind you, people still lining up at this hour to cast their vote. Have you engaged with the people on the ground? How are they feeling?
Yes, we've been here since the morning. We've interacted with them. We've interviewed some of them. We've just had some time discussing so many things. They want to be a part of the process from the beginning to the very end. Parents, the elderly, senior citizens, many of them have gone back to their homes, but the young people, many of them are still here. And some of them interacting with them, they tell me they are not going anywhere until they are done casting the ballots, and they follow it up to the very last of the counting. So it's interesting. Many of them are here, and they said they're not going anywhere. So we're here, we're just watching out things, and we're hoping that, yes, indeed, the votes will count. The electoral umpire, the Independent National Electoral Commission, says every vote will count. And that's what the young people, especially many Nigerians, the average Nigerian, is hoping that that promise of their votes counting will actually be followed to the latter. So that's the situation here.
And on the topic of the votes counting, what are some of the issues that Nigerians are hoping to see change with the next government coming in? What are some of those burning issues that Nigerians feel are some of the big issues that need to be dealt with immediately? Also, we've spoken about the youth quite often in this conversation. What are the young people of Nigeria hoping for with a new government coming in?
Yeah, there are several things that are on the front burner. So from insecurity, Nigeria has been battling an insurgency since 2009. According to the United Nations, over 350,000 lives have been lost, millions displaced, and a lot of people, relying on humanitarian assistance for survival. Nigerians, especially the young people, want that narrative changed for the better. They don't want Nigeria to be known for the wrong reasons again. They want that change. They want security of lives and property, guaranteed, so to say. They also want jobs for the people, especially the young people. There's high unemployment rates, and they want the numbers really addressed. There's also the issue of, care for the elderly. So many things. Care for the elderly. They want improvement to the agricultural sector. Nigeria has for years now just relied on crude oil as our main exports. They want a diversification of the economy. So several things, like I said, from insecurity, they want that addressed. They want jobs created. They want the economy improved upon. And of course, they want an improvement to the livelihoods generally, agricultural sector, diversified. So yes, these are some of the issues. Among many others, Nigerians are hoping the new government, the new leader will actually address, address these issues as he governs them, going forward.
Indeed. Tesem, let's leave it there. Thank you very much for engaging and chatting to us this evening, just giving us an update there live from Nigeria. That is Tesem Akende, a Nigerian correspondent, just giving us the latest updates with regards to the ongoing elections that's taking place in Nigeria. There were numerous delays this morning, violence in some parts of the country as well. And as you can see there, voting still continuing. It's time